Welcome back to the Mulberry Book Drop. Hi, Sarah.
Hey girl, hey.
It's August.
So crazy.
We made it through another summer.
We did. What a great summer it was.
It really was. So I was thinking about this. You know how, because we live in Florida and everybody talks about the snowbirds?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what my favorite thing about summer is?
What?
The people that come to visit us because they can't come during the school year.
Yes.
And so they're sort of like this weird summer version of snowbirds. So we need to think of a nickname for them for next year.
Yeah.
But you guys, you know who you are. You absolutely made our summer by popping in and saying hi.
It is the best. And like we get to see the kids and like they've gotten taller and it's just fun.
It's always amusing to me when they first walk into, like, if the kids come in first and you do that whole, like, I know them.
But...
And then all of a sudden mom or dad comes in behind them and you're like, oh my gosh, they've grown a foot. Like,
right.
Who is this adult?
Not adult. Oh, goodness. Yep. But true.
It is.
True.
Yeah. So over the last couple months, Sarah, I feel that you and I have both kind of come across a new obsession, if you will.
Yes.
Would you like to share with our friends what that obsession is?
Absolutely. I don't know what you're thinking, but I bet you're never going to guess it. Actually, they're Brussels sprouts from Trila, I think it's how you say it, at the Depot 303.
They are the best Brussels sprouts.
The best.
I've ever had in my life.
The best. Delicious.
So they had hosted, when they first opened the Depot, they had hosted like a little VIP night for city employees.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we went and I was kind of like, I eat weird. What am I going to be able to eat? And this place had a couple of vegan options. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to try the Brussels sprouts. I really was not expecting anything crazy.
Same.
And they brought out the biggest thing of Brussels sprouts for me. And it had that like crunchy garlic crisped up on it.
Yum.
I have never tasted anything so delicious in all my life.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I was eating it and I said, I'll take 17 more. Thank you. It was so good. I wouldn't be mad if we went after we finish recording. We won't, but it's very tempting. Very, very tempting. They were just so good.
We're going to have to make a lunch date.
Oh, okay. Really twist my arm. Yeah. So good. So 10 out of 10, if you love Brussels sprouts, honestly, even if you don't like Brussels sprouts, I would recommend that you try them because you've never had them like this before.
I would be curious too. So I know like a lot of you have been trying Depot 303. We love seeing you over there. But if you have a favorite meal or a restaurant in there that you've been loving, like let us know what it is, because very curious. I mean, the city employees, everybody's been going over there for lunches and dinners and all that stuff.
So good.
I would love to know what everybody else is trying.
Agreed.
Yeah. I do love to talk about food.
Mm-hmm. What else do we talk about? Food and
books.
Yep.
Oh, dogs.
And dogs.
We do talk about dogs.
Yeah.
Okay. So today is kind of a special episode. We have had a lot of questions lately from people asking about like how to write a review. And I think part of it is like some of you, when you come in and you're asking us questions and you see us pull up our Goodreads or Storygraph or whatever to like kind of remind ourselves of things so that we can talk to you and answer your questions. And it has brought up some conversations where, I think we have a few people that we taught how to use Goodreads. So that was really fun. We've done a couple tech appointments where we've kind of helped set you up. And I think people assume because of the way we use those social media sites that there's actual like rules and requirements for writing a review.
No.
And so today we're going to spend a little time talking to you about like how we do it, but also to dispel any rumors that you think that you're actually being graded on this because you are not.
Yeah.
So that is spoiler number one. But Sarah, I wanted to ask you first, why do you write reviews?
Writing reviews is actually really new for me. I've only been doing it for probably a year and a half ish of me actually writing a review. I've always done ratings, but I didn't write reviews. But then it was one of those things that if I was like, oh yeah, I know I did read this book, let me go back and look and be like, well, I rated it this, but I have no idea why I rated it that. Like I was like, what? I don't remember what I got out of the book. I don't remember if I liked it. I don't remember if I didn't like it, or if I was just like, it was okay. And so that's why I started writing reviews, is so I could remember like what are things that I loved, or if I didn't love it, why didn't I love it? So that's why I write reviews.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of always done it in my own way just because I suffer from what I call like book amnesia, where
Mm-hmm.
once I close the book, it's kind of gone.
Right.
And if I'm, when I'm doing a book club, I've worked on questions, and as we talk about it, things come back to me. But sometimes if you just ask me like, oh, how's this author? How's this book? Like, sometimes I freeze.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like being at trivia night and you can't answer the questions and you
Right.
start to panic. And so that's why I really like reviews, because they help refresh my memory, so that I can actually help people. So yeah, I really do it just more as a reminder. I think it helps with my job, but then it also helps me in, my personal life, because I do have a lot of friends, or sometimes, let's be honest, sometimes I can't remember if I read something and I have to
Mm-hmm.
look back and remind myself, nope, you finished all those books by that author. There's nothing left at the moment.
But then it comes back,
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the other thing too is like, just in terms of remembering things for yourself, sometimes I like to save meaningful quotes or passages.
Yeah.
So depending on the book that I'm reading, sometimes I will actually type in like an actual quote.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a big thing for me a couple years ago. I don't know what it was. The quotes were really helping me. And so I have like a whole collection saved. And I do love that too. So I think our reasons, for the most part, the main reason is kind of similar though.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. So do you have personal rules for writing reviews?
Oh, do I? Do you want to hear my system?
I would love to hear your system.
So I can take credit for the words, but the system that I learned, I actually got from my friend who got it from her sister-in-law. So on Goodreads, I actually have it in my like bio area, but it's like my star rating system. So I'm going to go through them. A 1 star means that I had feelings about this and they were not good feelings. I did not like the characters or the plot subject of the book. 2 stars, this book did not do it for me. I figured out everything way too fast, especially if it's a mystery. 3 stars, I liked it but did not love it. The twists were probably not twisty enough for me. I would probably not reread this one. 4 stars, I thoroughly enjoyed this book, enough to tell you to read it. The writing was good and the plot twist got me. And then finally, my 5 star, I hugged this book after finishing it. It gave me all the feels and I loved it. I will squeal with delight if you read it and make you talk about it with me. There was a wow factor that actually made me gasp.
I love that. I remember when you like updated that and you were like, okay, you guys have to read this. And
Yeah.
it really kind of gave me insight to like how you rate stuff, and it
Yeah.
makes it fun. Because I do a lot of times when I look at stuff, to me, I know some people are like, they only want to read stuff if it's like 5 stars, or if it was reviewed by some big name, whomever. But to me, I'm like, if you're on like Goodreads or the Story Graph, if it's like 3 stars or higher, I think it's worth giving it a chance.
Agreed.
Because somebody's, 3-star book could be a 5 star for you.
Right.
And I do think, so here's my one rule in terms of 1 and 2 stars, because guys, they're going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to happen no matter how hard we try. I think you have to think twice before being mean.
Yeah.
So when I say that, what I'm telling you is, if I have one rule for myself, it's to be constructive when you're explaining your why.
Mm-hmm.
So when Sarah and I went into this whole, like, I need to learn how to DNF a book because I hate having to write reviews about 1 and 2-star books, I really had to like think through like how am I going to phrase this so that people understand why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. And ever since we started that, the good news for me is this year I only have 1 1-star book and 2 2-star reviews.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive.
And out of those 3 books, Sarah, 2 of them I had to finish because they were book club books.
Ah.
So I probably would have DNF'd them. We still had great conversations during book club about it. So I am glad that I finished them. But anytime I do stuff like that, I do try really hard to like focus on the facts, explain why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling. And so when I say focus on the facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like a 1 or a 2-star review, it might just be that, unreliable narrator doesn't work for you, or maybe you have issues if there's like a dual timeline. Maybe there is something for you that's not working in terms of the actual storytelling or the pacing. Like you can use any of those things to explain why.
Mm-hmm.
But then somebody who might enjoy literary fiction,
Right.
a more slowly told book,
Mm-hmm.
they might say, ooh, that sounds like it might be for me.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. So if you can put some of that stuff in there, you can be constructive and you're not going to ruin the book for other people.
Yeah. I think that's great.
Yeah. And I do also sometimes like I struggle sometimes when people like spoil books.
Mm.
So the other thing that I always try to remind people of when they ask me about some of this stuff is you know how when you're writing a review, there's like that formatting option.
Yes.
You can hide your spoilers. So sometimes maybe you need it as a reminder for yourself, but you can use that formatting option and it is going to like do the little hazy shadow thing
Mm-hmm.
where to see the spoiler, somebody has to literally click on it. And I love that function. I've actually been a lot better about using it the last couple of years since I started working at the library.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, I do have like a few more followers now. Like, I'm not anything famous, guys. Don't worry about that. But, you know, I would never intentionally ruin a book for somebody.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
even when you and I talk, sometimes like you'll ask me, are you really going to read this book?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and
Yeah.
I'll give you an honest answer and then you determine how much you're really going to tell me.
Yeah. If she tells me no, oh, I spoil the whole thing, y'all. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Is there, when you're writing a review, Sarah, do you have anything specific that you always try to like put into your review as a reminder to yourself or?
How I feel.
Okay.
How I feel about the book. I I am not I'm not a writer, and especially with reviews, we have a coworker who when she writes a review, she doesn't read a ton, but man, when she puts a review up, phenomenal. And I'm like, man, she's such a great writer. I am not that way. I am a very emotional person. I know, shocker. So I tend to put more of my emotions into my post. How did I feel reading this book? How did the characters make me feel? That kind of thing. So that's kind of what I focus on more. For the most part, I don't really think I put any spoilers. I usually only put like if there's character growth, there's character growth. But I typically don't actually put anything of the book in it in my review, which I will never be a famous reviewer, probably because of that, but I don't want to be. So, yeah, I just focus on my emotions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I like
Can
that.
be scary.
I mean, part of reading is how we feel when we're reading the book too. So
Yeah.
it's the experience of reading the book. So I do love like the idea of the feelings being in there.
Yeah.
One of the things I like to do is the thing I learned during that reader's advisory training.
Yeah.
And it's the idea to put like 3 things about the story.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of going back to what I had said earlier, like that whole, is it dual timelines? Is it multiple points of view? Is it told through first person? Is it a slow burn?
Mm-hmm.
Are there awesome twists? Like those kind of fun things. And those are also like, they're great reminders, but they're great for somebody who's reading your review, trying to determine if they want to read it for themselves, because they can easily sit here and say like, oh, slow burn, can't do that right now.
Right.
Like I need something that's going to, you know, put me right in it.
Yep.
Do you ever struggle when you're writing reviews?
Yes.
You do?
Especially if if I didn't enjoy the book.
Yeah.
Because I never want to bash an author, because just because it wasn't for me doesn't mean it isn't for you or someone else. So there's only been like maybe twice that I've put like my feelings into a low star one. But for the most part, I do try to avoid being negative. So yeah.
Mine is the memoirs.
Oh,
I read a
yeah.
lot of memoirs. I really love memoirs. Whether you are famous or not famous, I don't really care. I'm a sucker for a really good memoir. And I do struggle to give anything less than a 4 or a 5 for a memoir, because once I finish the book, no matter how I felt about it, there is a part of me that thinks to myself, well, who am I to judge?
Right.
Your memories, your experience, you know, your life. Like, it's not on me to judge somebody's memory or upbringing. And so it's really hard. So sometimes if a memoir maybe didn't hit right, like sometimes you might see one on my thing where it's a 3, those are usually ones where maybe I didn't really connect with the person. I didn't have a takeaway from it necessarily. But again, it's not saying don't read it. Like, I would never 1-star somebody's experience of life. That's not on me to. So I, we do as readers have the option to absolutely just not put these books on our things. Like, you don't have to put this stuff on social media. Like, there's no requirement to read a certain number of books every year. Like, even if you sign up to do the book challenge and you don't make it, it doesn't really matter.
No.
It doesn't really matter. So, that's why, like, these rules that we make, we're only making them for ourselves. So it's whatever you are comfortable with and whatever you are comfortable sharing. And I think that's also why it has helped this whole DNF thing.
Right.
I think that really has been a game changer for me. I hope it's something that I can keep up in the future.
Yeah.
I've been really proud of myself. And I love too that I can actually talk to people about that now. Like, we've made it such a safe space, even in my, my book clubs, that it's okay if you don't finish a book to still come to book club.
Yeah.
Where did you stop? Why did you stop? What did you read instead?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You can still be a part of this conversation and still make this an enjoyable experience for yourself and for everybody else.
Right.
It's always such a, I don't know, it's a fun thing.
If you've ever noticed, sometimes I put books on like my Goodreads that I'm currently reading, but then I give up. Not give up, but I put it down and I don't finish, and then it just disappears. Silently, quietly into the night. It just disappears. And it's okay. I don't need to review it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do have one suggestion. Not a requirement, guys. Again, there's no real rules. If you happen to dislike a book, but you're not completely off the author. So think back to our last episode where we talked about like authors that we keep coming back to. I don't know if you guys remember, but I mentioned like Grady Hendrix, for instance, and I was like, I could easily rank all of their books from like most favorite to least favorite. And the thing with Grady Hendrix, even if there was a book that I was a little like lukewarm on, I still love the storytelling and the style and the pacing, and I'm going to go back for more no matter what. So in this regard, I would always suggest that you mention that in your review, where you can say like, oh, okay, this wasn't my favorite. I think I still preferred, and then you can insert whatever that other book title was. And so now, like in your review, you're being kind of honest, but you're also giving an author that you do appreciate and love a little bit of free advertising, because now maybe somebody's still, even if they don't read that book, maybe they'll pick up the other one, or maybe they'll read this one anyway, but realize that they felt similar to you and they're going to try that other one.
That's good.
Yeah. So like, help an author out. This is not easy. I think what they do is incredibly difficult. And I think if you love somebody, even if it's not your most favorite book, there is a way to still be positive and really promote them.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to do something a little fun, Sarah, if you are okay with this.
Sure.
And I thought maybe we could share one of our lower ratings.
Okay.
A little review.
Okay.
And maybe one of our higher ratings.
Okay.
Okay. Which one would you like to start with?
The low rating.
Okay. Hit me with it.
Okay. So this was a 1-star, and this is not one that I couldn't not read because it was for a book club. But it says, I had strong feelings. Not one redeemable character. So disappointing. I couldn't even be happy at the end. The only plus was that it was a quick read. I did put a positive in there.
You did.
But 3 sentences. That was my review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to happen.
Exactly.
Okay.
Do you want to share yours?
I will. Okay. So this was a recent book for me, and I think this might actually be my most liked review at the moment. But it was a 2-star review, and it says, mixed together miscommunication trope, romantic interest with more miscommunication, family. Sprinkle an excessive amount of kindness, landlords, old friends, etc., on the main character. Bake for 200 plus pages into a twist that is not even the tiniest bit of a surprise. Allow reader to cool for remaining 100 pages.
That is probably one of the best reviews I've ever heard in my life.
I don't actually know why I wrote it that way. I've been baking a lot lately. And I think, I don't know. I just, for some reason, this book, and I will tell you, I felt guilty, and I thought a little bit before I clicked post because I really did feel bad because this book was suggested to me by multiple people and it was like a 5-star read
Yeah.
for several people that I know. And it
And it
just
wasn't for
didn't
you.
do it for me.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. Do you want to change it up a little positive?
Absolutely.
Do your 5-star?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. 5-star. I loved this book. I fell in love with the characters and feel like I grew up alongside of them. I think it was genius the way the author wrote this, and while it was about friends making video games, it was about so much more. Love, loss, friendship, heartache, etc. I will be thinking about this book for a while.
I know which book this is. It's
Yeah.
so good.
And it's so funny because I found a typo in my review when I went to put this in here. And so I fixed the typo on my review, and I've gotten notifications that several friends have actually liked the review. I read this book in January.
That's so
Like,
funny
I finished
because it
it in
probably
January.
refreshed
It sure
because
did.
you updated it.
I said, "Why are these people liking my review?" And then I said, "Oh." And I was like, "That's embarrassing."
Yeah.
Like, I work at a library. I gotta fix that.
That's
so
funny.
Go ahead. What's your 5-star?
Okay, so my 5-star is a little random, but every time I look at the review and I remember the book and it just says, I freaking love this book and immediately found the author on Instagram so that I could start watching his videos. The kangaroo. Oh my gosh. And seriously, what is the deal with the platypus? Now, I understand that is a very random review, but it tells me everything I need to remember about this book and how I felt when I read this book.
Yeah.
And I just, it was the best. It deserved 5 stars. It was a very good time. Okay. If you want to know the books that we were reviewing, you can pop in and talk to us. I am not going to be negative about an author on here. I don't want to do that. So please feel free to stop by if you need to or email us or whatever. But I just want you guys to remember when you're writing a review, you are not being graded.
No.
Never, never, never. You are not being graded. You have a choice to actually use words to review it the way we do, or you can simply mark it as read.
Mm-hmm.
You can simply do a star rating and not use any words. Totally up to you. And if you do decide you want to keep it a little more personal, but maybe you're also worried about spoilers or putting yourself out there, I would actually urge you to step off of the computer or your phone and keep a journal.
Yeah.
I think a journal is a beautiful way for you to put quotes, how you felt when you were reading it, and actually personalize it a little bit more. We do have several patrons who come in and they all have their little notebooks and, they're checking off their authors, and you can always tell what books were their favorites because they get extra stars next to them and stuff, which I love that.
So
I think
cute.
it's so great. And stick to the facts. If you are writing a review, try to stick to the facts and whatever rules you set for yourself. So think about Sarah's rules for when she's writing a review. You could totally do something like that for yourself. And when you're sticking to the facts, think about the writing style of the book.
Yeah.
The pacing of the book. I really love that you said how you felt when you were reading it.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing to put in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And sometimes I know I've had a couple books where I've even mentioned where I was when I was reading it. Because I think sometimes that adds to the experience.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. Is there anything that I have missed maybe that you can think of? Any little extras?
I just want to reiterate the spoiler format.
Okay.
That's a great tool. And my friend just used it for the first time. And now I'm never going to read this book. But when I hit view spoiler, it did crack me up because she said, I'm so glad my most hated character died. And that was literally the spoiler.
That's hilarious.
So even if it's something little like that, I really think that spoiler format should be used. But you're not being graded. Just have fun with it.
I will admit, I do have one pet peeve.
Okay.
So when you're looking through reviews, when people take, Goodreads is a good example because you have the book and the description of the book, right? Mm-hmm. And then you go to look at the reviews and it's people cut and paste the description of the book.
Oh, agreed.
And I'm like, I already read that. I don't need to know that. I just want to know, did you like it or not?
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's my one pet peeve. You don't have to copy and paste part of it. People are going to be able to find that out by reading the book jacket.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, I enjoyed this episode way more than I thought I would, if we're being honest.
I was actually surprised when I was thinking about it, how many people ask us. Writing reviews is not technically part of our job.
Right.
But it is something that I think we have all, especially over like the last few years,
Mm-hmm.
continuously, like we started doing it more and more. And we have so many book clubs at the library, and we have so many patrons that we are constantly like, they come in and they're just like, what's the next thing I should read?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, it really has become part of our job.
Yeah.
But writing reviews is very personal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you just need to throw away the rules. I think you just need to let it go. And if you're going to criticize something, please just try to be constructive.
Yeah, exactly. That is a worker's work. It's the same thing of, we work at a library. If someone posts a Google review about us and it's mean, it does kind of hurt our feelings.
Yeah.
Like that's their work.
Yep.
So agreed.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah.
Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
tell me about a book that you might be reading now that you haven't reviewed yet.
Oh, okay. So I'm actually currently reading Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, which is Haymitch's story in the Hunger Games. So I waited forever. When I put it on hold, I was like number 56 and it finally came in. So I'm really excited to read it. All I know is Haymitch's story. I don't want to read the jacket. I don't want to look on Goodreads. I don't want to read anyone's reviews. I've seen some of my friends. And all the ones that I've seen love it. So I'm really excited.
That's a fun one to go in blind too, because you already know the characters.
Right.
So
I'm really pumped. So what are you reading?
Very cool. I am reading In the Garden of Beasts, Love, Terror, and an American Family in Hitler's Berlin by Erik Larson. And I feel like the last several episodes, it's all been I'm about to, or I'm reading a book club book, but this is for my nonfiction book club. But I'm really excited about it. I've read the author once before. He had a book called The Devil in the White City.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a book that connected the World's Fair with like this American serial killer named H.H. Holmes. And it was a really fascinating story. So what I know about In the Garden of Beasts so far is there is a professor who brings his family from Chicago to Berlin, and his daughter kind of gets caught up with like the pomp and the parties and the young men of the Third Reich. And so I'm like, well, where is this going to go?
Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued, and it's I know you and I both really enjoy like historical fiction, and we tend to get sucked into like World War II sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long time since I've read something that like took place during this time period. So
it has been, hasn't it?
Yeah. So I'm actually, I hate to use the word excited, but like I kind of am looking forward to like going back to that time period right now and maybe learning more of a personal story.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a really good, a good discussion.
I actually saw this, you getting ready to hand it out at Nonfiction Book Club. And I said, wait, what is that? And so I actually ordered it. So I'm on the hold list for it.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
If you finish it, maybe you can join us.
I would love that.
That would be really fun.
It would be great.
Okay. Sarah.
Yes.
Where can they find us?
All right. So if you have a different way of writing reviews or your rating system or anything that you would love to share with us, you can share with us on Facebook, Instagram, or email us at themulberrylibrary@gmail.com. We would love to hear what kind of things you do. So, and with that,
happy reading, Mulberry.
Yeah.